Hey there, JJ here, a founder over at VisionLabs, and today we're going to be doing a deep dive, an exodus of LookerStudio.VIP. I'm going to have more of a longer term thing to say, where the site is, what's happening, how is it. Probably won't get a lot of views, but if you are in for a good story, stick around. We're about to hop into things. I've got a kombucha, boop. I've got a coffee, boop. And so we are about to jump into things. So here we go. First off, if you're not familiar, this is LookerStudio.VIP. This is the site. There is a course that we've got for sale. There's an about page that I really honestly do love. There are a lot of other small things here, all of which I just clicked on that. Shouldn't have clicked on that. All of which are going to be going away and be migrated over to VisionLabs.com. So this is the final goodbye to LookerStudio.VIP while everything ends up inside of Vision Labs where everything will be. So let's talk through the timeline of affairs. This is a tool that I've recently started using called Eraser. Not a paying member yet, but just letting you know, trying this out. So let's hop into things. So I actually created LookerStudio.VIP with an idea of, hey, I think that there needs to be more education about how to use the actual day-to-day use cases of LookerStudio VIP. So the idea here was create cool, useful content on Looker Studio. This right here, as far as the timeline, was, I believe it was December/January of 2021. So that was when this happened. I had this idea around let's create something cool that is actually useful, and we're going to call it Looker. I'm going to get rid of idea because all these are ideas. That's probably December here. I was actually visiting so that'd be December of 2020 there. And then we're going to move over here, which is January of 2021. During kind of January 2021, I was like, okay, here's my idea is I'm going to write 36 articles in 30 days. Not sure why I had 36 on Looker Studio VIP. So this is everything from regex to lookup tables to all these different types of ways of using things you can do inside of Looker Studio. Then it was actually called Data Studio. So this would have been January, I believe, of 2021. No. Yes. There we go. Might be off by a year here. We'll do things here. At this point in time, it was just me and a VA over operating at Vision Labs, then Media Authentic, and this was actually called Data Studio. So we created this idea. I then created a design. So first off, what I did is I created 36 articles. And I was like, cool, that works a lot. I need to design this. So then I built the design that you see currently. Design, which was then Data Studio.VIP. So then I built this design that I thought was pretty good, which is where I put all of those articles. So I tried to create one article or two articles per day, and then one video every other day, I think was my goal there. And I got pretty close. I think I got to 30 there. So then this would have been March 2021. There we go. So this was when things were happening, and it started to take off. We'll hop into the actual data here in a second. But this was back here. I only had Universal Analytics, and then we kind of got into GA4 further down the line. So built the design on Data Studio IP. That was me on good old WordPress there. And then we added a lead magnet, which is the perfect dashboard cheat sheet. And that lead magnet there has been consistently performing at about 40%. So just if you're ever looking for a benchmark here, we've got a 40% conversion rate on this. And none of this is like private, like we have to publish our data. And so that, I believe, was in June of 2021. Since then, we have gone, let me just go from the timeline here. We will put in some text. So here, 0 subscribers. I think in this time frame, we all like 0 subscribers. There we go. And then I think during this time, I probably got to like 100 initially. And then today we are currently at, I think, just shy of 6,000. So that's where we are now, just for reference here. Not like a huge uptick. We'll hop into that later. So here's that timeline of affairs. Basically, everything's kind of sat still, and more articles have been updated about one a month-ish since then. So why are we moving things into VisionLabs? So and during this time, we moved from DataStudio.VIP into LookerStudio.VIP. Did that within a week of that change. That was super fun. We are then going to put I'm going to go down here. Let's break some timeline. Don't judge me, any data scientists, because we're going in the opposite direction here, but it's okay. Okay, so then we have Media Authentic, which was the old name of VisionLabs, which it ended up changing to that. We did that the middle of 2023 there. So let's just keep this timeline going. And what we did is we started migrating over blog posts slowly but surely. So what we're doing is we're taking the LookerStudio.VIP and we're moving those articles onto VisionLabs. So now if you go to VisionLabs.com, you can search all the articles that were previously on good old LookerStudio.VIP. So don't worry, folks. None of the content is gone. I know people still reference the regex one quite a bit there. So don't hesitate. There you go. Now we have kind of come through to fruition here. And so now currently it is the end of February 2024, Jiminy Christmas 2024. And we are fully shutting down the LookerStudio.VIP. So now this is going to be gone there. What does that mean for the grand scheme of things? That means that all the articles from this good old site here are now going to be on visionlabs.com/blog. Go find them all there. If you're watching this, like if you've made it this far, you can use the coupon to join the lab, which is over on that. And let's just call the Looker, let's call it goodbye. Looker Studio VIP. I'll make this coupon code here and give you like $100 off, something like that, if you made it this far. So there you go. Ta-da. There's a coupon code, a little Easter egg that you did not know if you're watching this. Okay. So now that we have this situation here, what I want to do is I'm going to build out a Looker Studio dashboard using Looker Studio. I'm going to use a GA4 native API. And we're going to go back and build out like a final overview of good old LookerStudio.VIP. So now I have an idea of this timeline. It's been super impactful. We've had a lot of people enter our ecosystem. Thousands of people are now on the newsletter and have had a lot of people ask questions, help them out, and it's been super awesome. But now VisionLabs is the focus, so we're going to focus all of our efforts over there. And here we are inside of Looker Studio VIP's data. We have the end of Looker Studio, as I'm going to call it. And we're just going to hop into this. This is just a GA4 native API. I just selected it. And so let's get things kind of sorted. I put some stuff on the page just so you're looking at something. But I'm going to kind of set it up the way that I would set up any dashboard. Is first over here, come to layout, turn off this. We're then going to change this to a grid and change this to 20 pixels. That will give us these dots, which they fixed recently. And then I want to turn off, just because this really, really bothers me. I don't know why it does so much, but in the theme under customize, we're going to make this have 10, and we're going to put the component background as white. And the thing that always bothers me is the on hover. Is I want to not show this. And that way, when you hover over things, it's not there. And the last thing is I just want to set the report background to be an off gray. There we go. So now we have a baseline to work. Because it's Looker Studio VIP, let's go with an off blue. That is an ugly blue. Let's go with a darker blue. Hot dog. Customize. Let's go with something more earthy. Let's go darker. I promise we build reports better than this for our clients. This is just me goofing around, mourning the death of LookerStudio.VIP. Okay, so what do we want to know as the answer to our questions? Let's hippity hop in here. So what I've got is views, sessions, total users, views per session, conversion of generate lead. Here you can see like kind of when we started migrating posts over was kind of the end of 2023 when that traffic starts to dip. And what you would also see is that our VisionLabs traffic has increased at the same level. And I think at our peak here, we had almost 5,000 sessions in a single month with almost a 1% conversion rate across the site, which is honestly pretty good if I'm going to say so myself. Okay. So what do we care about? We want views. We want sessions. I don't really actually care about any previous periods because there will be no previous periods. So what we can actually do here is we can change this date range. And we can just set the default date range instead of this is to March of 2022. And we can have that to today. And now we don't have to worry about updating that. This is more of a signal to anybody who's looking. Next thing I want to do here is just change our layouts to have height. I like to put things down below. So 2,500 pixels, there we go. So views, sessions, users, views per user, conversion rate, generated lead. There we go. The next thing I want to look at here is we're going to actually, we want to take this and I'm going to make a chart. Let's go with a little horizontal bar shenanigans here. And let's just look at our top sources and mediums. Okay, so that's what I want to change. So the dimension here, let's use session source because, you know, if you followed along, we are a big session kind of people, not the biggest of using user source because it just becomes more actionable when you look at sessions. And so we have source, and we're going to clean this up using one of the blog posts actually on good old VisionLabs. So let's talk through this. So I'm going to put this as there we have the source. And let's just put the medium over here. All right. And now what you might be noticing is that you see that we've got a couple of shenanigans happening over here. We've got some YouTube messing up. We've got some other things. So what you can actually do here, which is kind of cool, is you can create a case statement, which I'm just going to show you very quickly, one of a blog post. So Looker Studio, my bad, VisionLabs.com, and you can search for regex, or lookup or case statements, and you should find this. So what we're going to do is just make this really quickly. So case, we're going to just take these when session source. There's our thing, and I'm just going to use regex here. Sometimes I want to fight good old Looker Studio here. I'm going to use regex contains, and we're just going to put something simple here for the source contains YouTube, which you could just do text contains, but I'll show you why here in a sec. Then we're going to call this, I'm going to uppercase this. So we're going to call it YouTube. And I think let's just look really quickly. Let's just call those good, else session source. And so we'll just have this as a session source. And I'm going to put clean. I'm going to put a C. Did that not save? Okay, there we go. All right, so now we have some cleanly needed up things. I'm just going to keep it high level at the top here. And then we have the mediums, which I don't need to clean up because most of it is going to be pretty self-explanatory. So now we've got the source, the mediums, we've got YouTube, etc., all of that jazz. The next thing I want to do is look at landing pages. What are our top landing pages? This is where things will start to get more spicy because the GA4 API does not allow the host name for a landing page, which always sucks. Like I feel like that's something that is a very big oversight. I don't know why it's so complex for them to do that. because we have all these unset landing pages, not set, and then we have all these other ones. And so you also have all of the different query parameters. So what you can actually do here is, let's just make sure that I haven't changed anything super weird. I need to hit refresh on this. All right, let's move this bad boy over. I always forget if they do have any query parameters. Nope, we're good. Yeah, so it's always odd when they have these things. I think it's we were doing some pretty like interesting stuff with the landing page, and I messed it up at one point. So don't do as do as I say, don't do as I do. So here we have landing pages, and so I would like to know sessions, and then I'm just going to use the generate lead because we're using the foresight system here, so it should pull in all the different lead magnets, and then we can also have the generate. Let's see, if generate underscore lead, I think it's called conversion rate. Oh, geez, maybe it's conversion rate. Let's see. Here we go. Session conversion rate for generate lead. Did I get it right? There we go. So now we should have the conversion rate there. Then we can change this into a percentage. I don't know why the good old API doesn't do that. We're going to keep it with 2 decimals. And I'm just going to call this lead conversion rate. We weren't really selling anything on this site, so it's kind of hard to be like, hey, this is the way to do it. Boom. Bippity boppity boop. There we go. I'm going to also add in, because we added this, I'm not exactly sure when. Let's type in conversion rate for, I think it's impression lead. This is where things start to get. Well, I can't find it off the top of my head. It should be the conversion rate for impression underscore lead is what I'm looking for, but it just doesn't want to show up. So now we have this information right here. Ta-da, ta-da. So we can see our top landing pages. We can see minus the errors that I've got. And I think some of this also is from the Looker Studio API, the sampling and all that jazz. Another reason to use BigQuery, unfortunately. And then we can take these out to the angles. Let's just make it a little bit bigger. And now we kind of have a basic of historic data for this. And so this pretty much answers every question that I could ask. There's not a lot more that I'd be like, oh my goodness, I need to answer this question. This should answer most of it without much kind of hesitation. Because if we're in view mode here, I could say, okay, what is Google organic driving the most traffic to? And those aren't turned on for some reason. So down here, cross filtering turned on. And here we go. So now if I hit organic, we can look at all of our organic traffic, and it should show up as all the landing pages, all the traffic. Let's see how we did. There we are. So here you can see the origins here, 51 sessions a month, 51, 51, 300. There we go. Boom, big peak, 1800. And then you can see here how it has petered off once we started moving those articles off of LookerStudio.VIP. And here you can see where all those sessions are. So new metrics inside of GA4, hot topic, Looker Studio templates, regex. My personal favorite blog post is the regex blog post, but all of these other ones are also super handy. So that you can kind of see here. Let's just see what the highest conversion rate is. Probably the blank one because it's going to be sampled or missing. I forget the exact terminology. Ooh, the cart, as you can tell, highest conversion rate. All right, so here we go. There we are. All these different ones are higher conversion rates. Looker Studio, BigQuery ideas. You can see there they are. Let's add in a little tutorial here of if you wanted to kind of filter by the volumes. I think this works with the API. I always get confused now between what works with the API versus what works with the having to use something like BigQuery. So let's just try this out. Yes. I don't think this is going to work. Let's find out. Let's see. No. Let's just try. You're going to cast conversions, generate lead as text. Let's see if this works. If this works, I'm going to be mind blown. Okay. Volume. I don't think it's going to work. Yeah. So because it's already aggregated, no bueno, folks. You're going to have to use something else for this. I always forget what's possible with the different types. So I wasn't something cool, but here we go. So yeah, there we go. So the number of kind of everything here, leads per session is another thing that we could do, is sessions divided by leads, and use that as a metric. That's something else that you could try out. So let's just try that. Is if we did sessions divided by conversions, generate lead, and change this to a percent. And I'm going to call this lead sessions. I think I just made the conversion rate. It's been a long day. There we go. So wait, no, I want a number. There we go. So there we go. So it takes on average, the number of sessions to generate a lead is 240. Every 249 sessions, there is a lead. Another way of looking at conversion rate is how many of the actions you're going to need to do the thing that you want to accomplish. Most people don't think about that because it's like the inverse relation, but it is sometimes helpful. So let's just look at this one more time in our good old view mode. Is we can now see over time all of our different traffic. We can see it by organic, which I've currently got selected. We can look at YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, how's it going? And we can see how YouTube has trended over time once it decides to load. And then down below, we can see the top landing pages for each traffic source once we select those. And hey, YouTube matches almost the same thing because we're started redirecting those URLs. So here you can see that. And then we can see the conversion rate for each individual page, icons, rest in peace, setting up tag manager, all of that jazz. And we can see the top landing pages for our YouTube traffic. One thing that we do that, again, is a little mini tutorial is that we have share and referral. Maybe asking what's the difference between share and referral. So share is if you go to VisionLabs.com/YouTube, that's going to be a share UTM. So we know that we shared it with somebody. Whereas referral is going to come in from people in YouTube clicking on a random link. So usually I'll just say VisionLabs.com/YouTube. You'll go to that URL. You will have a UTM that says YouTube share, and the campaign is like YouTube generic, because that link is a shareable link that we're able to give you. And so here it goes to our links page, which is like a link tree style thing. And you can see that that conversion rate for YouTube is 74% over the lifetime here. So on average, you'll like 3 out of every 4 people who go to that, when I tell you, hey, go to this thing, they convert. So hello, if you're watching this, nice to meet you. So that is the final stay. I'll show you now where all of the things are on top of Vision Labs, just because if you've made it this far, hey, here we are. So here we are on VisionLabs.com. So we have all of the agency stuff. You can click contact us if you're interested. Here you can have the little search function. So if you want regex, bam, here's regex. Everything that we talk about regex, every post, click on that bad boy. It will tell you how long it takes to ring. And then ta-da, here's regex in Looker Studio. And now you can see all of the beautifulness that is how to use regex in Looker Studio. You can also go to the blog, right? The blog is super fancy. Ignore the WordPress login here. And this will, it'll have all of the different blog posts that we're on Looker Studio. And it is an infinite scroll. So you can always scroll down and find whatever you are looking for, and always come back up to the search and say, hey, I want to look at a case statement. And here we go. Ta-da, case statements in Looker Studio. Bob's your uncle. Now you are off to the races. So super handy search. It does semantic search as well, so it doesn't have to be inside of the URL. Also, you cannot see the URL, is that all of the same things over on LookerStudio.VIP are now on Vision Labs. So hope this has been at least a little bit insightful. If you had any comments about the business, ideas, strategies, etc., feel free to leave a comment down below in this YouTube channel. I am all ears, and there will be a blog post also down below. And without anything else, if you wanted to use the Goodbye Looker Studio or LSVIP, that is something that I came up on the spot, and we'll go add that as a coupon right now. It has been an absolute blast writing over on Looker Studio VIP, creating that content. It has been so much fun, and the content's not going anywhere. It is on VisionLabs. The site is just going to be redirected, and it is a new phase in business, a new phase in development. Same good old charisma here, and same excitement for the idea behind making actionable dashboards that are easy to use for your bosses, clients, and whoever else you might be making them for. And we're going to have some fun along the way. See you then.